Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Ancient Relics and Hokey Religions. I am your host, the real Josh T. And with me, as always, is this fantastic group of wonderful people.
Hello.
Mr. Yoda _I_am. Jay and Jake _ Izzee, and Evan, also known as It's Evbo. I feel like I've chosen Evan. I have picked Evan last several times, and next week I'm not going to do that.
Maybe you're saving the best for last.
Maybe, but
it does feel pretty good, I have to say.
I mean, I guess you could say it's starring all of us at some point. At some point or another.
True. So what's new? What's exciting, guys? Anybody have anything they want to shout out? I think we played last week, but it feels like we haven't played in a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't talked to you in a long time. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, our chat was pretty quiet this week. But yeah, I actually have nothing to announce this week.
I don't either. I mean, we did. Well, I guess on J&J Tabletop, I know we're skipping ahead, but we did a discussion on Wizards that we released this Wednesday, and it's definitely podcast style. So just on your lunch break or something like that, just pop it open and just enjoy the soothing sounds of Josh's amazing voice and me, and. Anyways, we talk about wizards and like all different kinds of concepts and things to like make your wizard awesome if you're going to be playing a wizard, which those are my favorite. We've done fighters and wizards, and I believe John asked for druids, so that's probably going to be next.
I was a little disappointed when he said that. I mean, I'm excited to dive into that one.
Oh, I'm telling.
But I was a little disappointed because I wanted to do the other nature class.
Artificer?
Gross. Can you call it Henry Jones Jr.? That's my dog, actually. But sure, why not? So, everybody, I'm sure you all know what it is, but this Ancient Relics and Hokey Religions is a D&D show for Rare Drop Roleplay. Rare Drop Roleplay is Rare Drop's delve into the dungeon of TTRPGs and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to learn more about that, just go to raredrop.co. They have another game on Tuesday nights. They just did a session 0. I believe their first real session is going to be on Tuesday. So that's going to be exciting. Spoiler alert, they had 2PK, so they're starting fresh. And yeah, but no, it seems like it's going to be a cool start. I believe they're doing like 15 years after
Ooh.
The events of the last one, and
okay.
If I had to guess, I think the TPK monster is going to be the big bad this time, that's always kind of cool. Let your players get their revenge. So
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely check that out. And of course, there's all the other fun podcast things that they have going on throughout the week. So stay tuned, and again, just raredrop.co. For all that stuff, we have a new, Rare Drop Roleplay has a YouTube channel, so you could check out that and make sure you subscribe to that to catch up on old episodes. Our old episodes are not going to be up there just yet. Still working on how to roll those guys out, but you could always just go to Spotify and listen to our wonderful voices on there, and just let us talk to you through your ear holes instead of your eyes. So Jake kind of already mentioned it, but J&J Tabletop is something that Jake and I do, and every now and then we get help from some other fantastic people, 3 of which you see right here before you. And we just like to talk about tabletop RPGs, D&D, and just whatever fun, crazy things. Sometimes we'll be talking about some crazy build idea so that you could do the most damage. Sometimes we'll be talking about how to make a great character, and sometimes we'll be talking about like world building and stuff like that. So if you want to check that out, youtube.com/J&J Tabletop, twitch.tv/J&J Tabletop. We're on Twitter, all the things. Check us out. And if you have anything specific that you want to learn about, let us know. Because, you know, Jake and I have a ridiculously long list of videos, ideas that we're going to do. And if we know what you guys want to learn about or want to just hear us talk about, we'll put that at the top of the list.
Goes to the top. Yep. Right to the top.
So without further ado, Mr. Jacoby.
Yes.
What's the lesson for the day?
So today, everybody's gonna get a little bit of culture, all right? This is why I'm talking with such an exotic accent.
How you doing? We're gonna learn about culture today. You're gonna love it.
One of my favorite SNL skits was the Bronx Beat with Amy Poehler and Maya Rudolph. It's just two women from the Bronx talking, and I think Amy Poehler is just like, "Yeah, I wish I had a fancy accent." Like, anyways,
I don't know why I thought you were gonna say sweater weather.
Well, that's the skit. Sweater weather.
Is that the skit?
That's the skit. Yeah, that
right.
exactly is a skit. But yes, so one thing Josh and I are always talking about is a way to make your games come alive is to make them more immersive, make them feel a little bit more real. And if you're able to add culture, things like art, religion or music, anything like that, or even say holidays, which is something that Josh actually did the last episode here. I know, it's almost like this weird thing, but that's going to make a world feel more real. So I know if you're in chat, we were just talking about Dingus Day. I feel like people are not going to believe me when I say this. You're just going to have to look it up and trust that I'm not lying. So the day after Orthodox Easter, which actually is today when this is being recorded, so if you're watching this on YouTube, that might not make sense. However, just keep in mind this is the day after Lent, which is a time of fasting and putting something aside. So it is quite common, the tradition, for teenage boys to douse teenage girls in water. I can't even say this. Seriously, take a pussy willow branch and spank them with it. I'm not even kidding. So that is actually a legitimate holiday. This is a real thing. I'm not making that up.
So you're like telling me that this is a kinky wet t-shirt contest.
Just I said, keep in mind, this is the day after Lent is over. So if you've been putting some things on the shelf,
doesn't help. Doesn't make it better.
No, I promise you, I'm not making that up. Look it up on the internet. If you're watching this on YouTube, put it in the comments section. Let me know that you did look that up.
Oh my gosh.
But
EMC, they still do that? Because I feel like that's a holiday that, like, that's one of those things you read about, but like now we're like, yeah, but we don't do that anymore for obvious reasons, you know. But that still happens. Right?
Yeah,
okay.
but it might be. Anyways, I'm not going to say it. So the holiday that Josh introduced last week is Barren Eve, which in the world of Wildmount is a day of mourning for people that have been lost in wartime. So that's something that I was thinking about. Would this have affected Vale throughout the week? I would guess. It was actually, our player chat was not quite as active. But I would think perhaps the other three players here have done that, and it's just one of those things that makes Wildmount feel real. So like I've actually always thought the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount is an outstanding source book, probably one of the best that they've ever put out when it comes to a campaign setting. So Matthew Mercer, if you are watching this, thank you so much for putting in some good hard work. I know you had help, but I know you were the lead there, and say hi to us one time. We'd love to do that.
And Matthew Mercer, everyone in chat, there's some people in chat right now. We need you to ask Matthew Mercer.
Merther.
Matthew Mercer.
Ask Matt Mercer.
Oh yeah.
If Menagerie Toast is a thing, and if not, we need his official thumbs up that it is a thing.
Yes.
Tell him that J&J Tabletop sent you. Tag us in the tweet if you want. Just we just want to know. We just want to know. It should, if it's not a thing, it should be a thing. Menagerie toast, you know?
Menagerie toast should absolutely be a thing. And to be fair, I think Eric is correct that it has evolved to be inclusive, not just the ladies. Get a little whack with a pussy willow branch.
Water balloon fights, no spanking, no targeting, just females. Water guns, water balloons, hoses. It's fun. Okay, all right.
At the very least, that is the traditional history of the holiday, though.
Okay, I appreciate what it has evolved into, and that in and of itself is culture and is real world building. When things are changing like that, when society changes and realizes, hey, that might not be okay, but they still keep the roots of that, where you know, they're like everybody's. I like that.
Many holidays in today's form are not even close to where they began. We'll just leave it at that. But oh my gosh, Skelly, yes, I would need to hear about your weird Aidenthal holidays. but yeah, that's the thing. We have a playlist, Command Lesson, about campaign and world building that Josh and I we talk about exploration, social, and combat, and then putting together random tables and just sandboxes that you could adventure in. So go ahead and check that out. And yeah, you can go back to you, Mr. Josh.
Well, before we do that, does anybody have anything they want to add about culture, world building, making the world come alive?
I can say I'm very excited to learn about this holiday tonight, but I have nothing important to add to this discussion.
You son of a bitch.
I think Dingus Day kind of
I'm kidding.
was like a wet blanket over.
Yeah, it was like a wet pussy willow over the ass of this conversation.
Mm-hmm. My wife says I'm an ass often. Not sure why.
Right. Well, good night, everybody.
She actually doesn't like to say words like that. Just to be fair.
Skelly wants to know what's happening. Skelly, all of us are feeling some type of way, and it's gonna be a weird night. So you all should stay tuned, see what happens, because maybe it'll be fun. Maybe Mac will kill the dude. Maybe he's gonna kill Peapod. Who knows? Anything could happen.
Mac doesn't even know.
Okay. All right. Also, today I'm drinking some King's Coast and a mug that says I love my cat. It's not true though. I like my cat.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, I love my
Ouch.
dog.
Ooh. That's fired.
I'm kidding. Okay. So, last week on Ancient Relics and Hokey Religions, our group of adventurers, after going through a whole lot of hell and chaos and stress and really life-threatening situations, they found some rest at an old cabin in the woods with an old man who is the keeper of this place, and they spent some time with him, explained some of their situation, not necessarily all of it, but more than I expected them to share. And they got some advice. They got some warm food and some warm drinks as well on a cold night. And well, all of them did some thinking over the night. And when Millie woke up, she had a scroll of message sending, something like that. She had a walkie-talkie on a piece of paper, and one time use 25 words. And she had that when she woke up. And Vale also woke up with a bit of a mission on his mind. He had some situations that were going on with someone we like to call Spooky Johnson, and some deals he may or may not have made with him, and the truth of how they escaped the cavern that they were trapped in. Well, Vale woke up Mac, said, "Hey, we need to talk." Mac said, "Sure thing." They tried to sneak out, and Melly woke up at the same time and ran into them. Talked a little bit. Melly got started on breakfast with Owen, and Mac and Vale had the hard discussion of, should we tell the rest of the group what happened? Vale said yes. He gave Mac the warning of, just so you know, I'm going to tell everybody what I already told you, just so you know. Just want to give you a warning, heads up. They had their conversation. They had a wonderful breakfast. And Vale took everyone out front by the water. Said, "Hey, some stuff happened." And well, after a long conversation, they seem to all be on the same page, and some hard conversations too. Things might be seeming slightly different now, but they all seem to be in a place of understanding. And with that, after we spent a whole session in just one morning, which is wonderful, the group walked back up to the cabin. And that is where we will pick up right now. So it is a beautiful winter, snowy morning. Not too windy, not too cold either. You know, something about just a sunny day right after the snow. Just the sun just reflects off the snow, and it really doesn't feel nearly as cold as it should feel. You all just had your conversation, walking back up to the house. Any housekeeping things, anything you want to mention before you pop in? Any goals that you have, or you're just walking in, opening the door, and seeing if Owen has anything to say?
You mentioned Melly had a second little wave, but I don't think the three of us noticed. Is that right? She rolled a natural 20 on that saving throw, or something to that effect.
She did roll a natural 20 on that saving throw, and that's something that I did not mention at all in the recap. So we all know about the nuke, as we've been referring to it, the purple nuke that they found. Well, our group of adventurers decided that maybe we should take a look at that and study it and see if we could figure anything out from it. Couldn't really figure anything out, and Melly decided maybe I should touch the butt. So she touched it, immediately got thrown about 10, 15 feet backwards, and seemed like she was okay. As she started walking away, maybe 2 minutes after the initial touch, got a little bit of an upset stomach, but she powered through it like a champ. And now we're all caught up. Sorry.
Don't see why Vale wouldn't just go inside at this point. I think actually Owen asked him to find him when they came back.
He did.
So that's what Vale would do, I think.
Okay. Melly,
Yes.
were you planning on telling anyone about that feeling that you just had, or were you just going to keep that to yourself?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Melly, I think if there's like chairs on the front porch, she might sit outside just to get a little bit more fresh air.
Oh yeah, there's like a beautiful rocking chair. There's a couple of them right out on the front porch. And you know that there was that wrap around deck porch thing along the cabin, so you could get a amazing view of the lake if you just want to chill out there for a little bit.
Yep, that's what I'll do.
Okay. Everybody else going inside?
Yes. Actually, Mac is just gonna actually go back upstairs and go into the big room that he took for himself.
Okay. Anything you want to do in there, or are you just gonna hang out in there for a little bit?
Just hanging out in there. Just
Okay.
like, honestly, he's probably like cleaning his weapons, but not anything like crazy. Just doing that to kind of like just pass a little bit of time and just to think.
Yeah, I love that. Just doing some busy work to help you gather your thoughts and reflect.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. So you walk in, and Owen is just finishing up drying all the dishes in the kitchen. Just kind of turn and look at you and just say, "Oh, hello there. Did you enjoy the lake?"
Yes, it's quite lovely. Amazing that you get to see that every day.
Well, there is a reason I chose the place that I live in. And that was part of it, for sure.
Yes. But
Where-
you said to find you when we were done, so here I am.
Vale, you said to me that you were interested in a bow. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
I don't make bows for just anyone, but I believe that you and your friends here, well, there's some positivity here that I haven't seen in quite some time. And I think that if I made one for you, you would use it to make the world a better place. Is that correct?
It's the only reason a weapon should be used.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly. Whenever you're ready, let me know and we'll go out and start gathering some supplies, and we'll make you a bow.
Val just looks at Echo, kind of almost like looking for approval. Like, not that he can even imagine why there would be. Kind of like a shrug.
Echo kind of like half shrugs back, probably a little less enthusiastic than you would normally think, but approvingly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah. Like, of course you should. Like, that kind of...
Yeah. Like Vale's eyes might just linger on Echo for just that split second longer than maybe.
Yeah,
would
I would
be
say he would
appropriate.
reply to that with, like, a bit of a smile that you still feel may not be as,
Yeah.
You know him by now. A stranger would think it was, genuine smile, but,
Yeah.
you would know better.
I gotcha.
It feels like he's reading a spell book to you. With that kind of smile.
He's like,
A
oh.
little bit.
Yeah, a face Val has seen. So yeah, he just said, I think now is fine, or whenever is good for you.
All right. Did you left all your weapons in the room and all that stuff? Are you like wearing armor right now, or are you just
I think Val's just
what are you
wearing,
equipped with?
because Val can summon his weapons, he doesn't really think much of leaving them back there. I think the only reason I think he would have his armor on now is if he thought it would keep him warmer. But I think he's probably just wearing his clothes and his cloak and
Yes. All right.
yes.
Okay. So he'll just say to you, he'll be like, "Well then, if you're ready now, I'll get my cloak and we'll head off into the thick of the forest."
Oh, all right. Should I put on armor and prepare myself in that way?
Put on whatever's comfortable for you.
Sure. Val will go upstairs and don his leather armor. Just get ready for his, as if he was heading out.
All right. All right.
And then just go downstairs when he's done.
Okay. So leather armor, what takes 5 minutes to put on, something like that?
Might even be less. I want to say it's like a few minutes, but if it's important, I'll look it up.
It's not super important.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, he'll quickly throw on a cloak and walk outside. He'll get out there before you do. And 1 minute.
Thanks, D&D Beyond.
If you have a rules lawyer at your table and you need to find out rules quick, go to D&D Beyond.
Helpful.
Yeah, while you're doing that, he'll just pop out front, and if Melly's still sitting there, he'll walk over and sit on the chair next to you and say, "Hello, Melly. Are you enjoying the view?"
Yes, it's so tranquil here. I can't imagine any other place being as peaceful.
Well, I've spent some time searching, and I haven't found a place to be as peaceful as this either. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I hope that after we've finished doing what we've set out to do, maybe we could all come back to visit if you would have us again.
As far as I'm concerned, you and your friends are welcome here any day.
Maybe Rain could come with us too.
Well, her people, they don't often wander around these parts, but they're welcome anytime they do.
It would just be nice to have everyone together again. It's funny. Sometimes you feel so close to someone even though you don't know them for very long, and I haven't known everyone my whole life, but all these people, they're like family. So it's weird to not see Rain every day.
I see she made quite an impact on you. How long did you spend together?
It wasn't the time. It was the experiences that we went. It felt like a lifetime's worth of events. Things that I would have never imagined would have happened.
Well, hard times, even if it's a short time, they feel like a long time, and then they do create bonds better than anything else. Hard times can either make or break a relationship.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your home with us. It is truly appreciated.
You're quite welcome. be sure to help yourself to anything in the kitchen or anywhere in the home here. When you
Thank
hear
you.
your family. Okay, you're not.
Are you?
And Jake,
Oh.
Vale, I would say at that point, you are welcome to walk outside. You would probably see them talking. So if and when you would like to interject, go for it. Just want to make sure you know. And Melly, whatever you're going to say.
I think Vale would just walk out and then not interrupt, but just be there.
Are the two of you heading somewhere?
We're about to go into the woods and gather some supplies to make a bow for Vale.
That's
you want
very
to-
exciting.
It is exciting. Would you like to give me one of the stones?
Yes, that is a great idea. I'm gonna take out one of the sending stones. I don't think that we've used these before, so I'm pretty sure it's once a day we're able to use it.
All right.
And I
Right.
think it's only 25 words.
Should function largely like my message spell, so I think much better and much greater range.
Mm.
So, just a precaution. I'm sure everything will be fine.
Well, if you need anything, we'll be here.
All right. He just says, and don't worry. He snaps his fingers, and Isla appears on his shoulder. I've got my friend here to keep me safe.
She's a good.
He just, scratches her beak. I feel like she would just kind of lean into it. Kind of shake and see the feathers flap up a little bit, yeah.
Nice.
Yes, shall we head out? As he looks over at Owen.
He'll say, absolutely. And that's a wonderful animal you have right there. I could see there's a strong bond between you.
Yes, you could say that.
And
Cat, stop saying Val died that day because he went into the woods with a strange man. Just saying. Although your point is entirely fair.
Vale and Owen went into the woods, and they never came back. Yeah, so Owen will just start walking on the path, and he'll say, "Melly, we'll see you. We'll see you very soon." And he'll just start walking on the path. He won't even tell you to follow him. He'll just walk and expect you to.
Yeah, Val would follow.
Yeah.
I think he would just constantly be trying to have Isla a good 20 feet or so in front, up in the trees, trying to predict where he's going if he's not going to say it, but, that kind of a thing.
Sure. Yeah, so he'll as he's walking with you, he's just gonna just talk to you a little bit about just the bows in general, and just say, I'm sure you've noticed I've asked you a lot of questions over the past day in regards to making a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't trust you or anything of the sort. You seem to be very good people. But I don't take this lightly. And I don't make weapons for just anyone. I hardly make them at all anymore.
Is that something you used to do often?
It's something I've done before. But, well, it's a lot of labor that goes into it. It takes a lot out of me, and, well, when you make something powerful and see it used incorrectly, well, sure to shifts your perspective a little bit. And I don't want to create anything that's going to hurt anyone that does not need to be hurt. There's enough pain in this world already, and I don't want to add any more to it than I already have.
Elle definitely has like a sad smirk. Nods his head. Listen, Owen, if I know we're just getting to know each other, I don't want to put you on the spot. We've known Rain a little time, and just thought she had such a fine bow, and she mentioned that a man of the woods, a man named Owen, made it for her. I just figured I would ask.
Vale, if I felt pressured to do this, I wouldn't be doing it. Any request to make a weapon, I take seriously. I was up thinking about it, and after talking to Echo, and Echo actually spent some time with my squirrel Peapod. But well, after spending time with you and the group together and the group individually, well, I thought I think it's about time I do something that's gonna help things for a change, instead of just hiding away.
Well, it's very appreciated. So, is there something in particular that we're looking for?
Well, we're just looking for a good tree. We'll know it when we find it. For bows, typically I'd like to use well, you could use a red oak, black walnut, but I think this one we want an ash tree. How does that sound?
That sounds delightful. I trust your judgment. And
it's not.
He takes his bow out. He just says, "I've been using this ever since my training." Offers it to him if he wants to look.
Yeah, he was going to say, may I? And he'll just kind of grab it, and he spends a moment just like inspecting it and kind of looking around, really at it. He draws back to feel the weight, and also just try to get like the see what the draw length is on it. And
I feel like he would know things like this, and I know we haven't maybe fully talked about it, but with our texts a little bit, even while we're streaming tonight, it's, probably something he's seen for any glass blade that kind of goes by that he's come in contact with. Looks very similar make. If you could tell the age, it's probably 35 to 40 years old.
What does it look like?
It's pretty simple. It's I'm not very familiar with what kinds of wood, so
is it a dark stain, a light stain? Is it like what?
I think it's a dark stain.
Mm-hmm.
Very it's simple, but it's got like Kind of like if you would see like some old antique wood would have like patterns in like table legs and things. I think there's just like leaves that would kind of go around to certain spots. Nothing too intricate, but just very well made, very, very used in that amount of time.
I'll just kind of look at it and we'll say, This was not made specifically for you. I can see. Just kind of thrown together. Very careless weapon for uncivilized times. I see that it's been heavily used.
It's a bit old. That's a relative term.
What has it been used for? What kind of stories would it tell?
Bale's expression sinks a little bit. It was issued to me after I completed my training. I was actually trained to be a glassblade, just like my brother. But Vale just kind of like looks at Owen, and I feel like Owen just kind of is just simply looking back at him. I can't imagine there being much else going on. Well, the class that I graduated with, there was an incident, and I was the only one that survived it, and so it's seen some sad times. Since then, I didn't want to continue along that path. It just seemed I needed to find my own way. So I left.
Just kind of looks at you like with a bit of like an understanding on him, and just kind of gives you a nod, puts his hand on your shoulder, hands you the bow back, and says, well, I'm sorry that I'm sorry for the hard times. We've all seen some pretty terrible things, but I'm glad you pulled through. And as far as the glass blades are concerned, well, while there are a lot of very good people in their employment, better to make your own decisions, be your own man, than to blindly just do whatever you're told.
Vale's eyes well up a little bit as he's saying that. Kind of just like looks away for a second as he looks up and kind of shakes it off. And yes, I agree. I don't like being subject to someone else's whims. It's not a situation I would ever put myself in lightly.
Well, it shouldn't be much farther. And he'll just turn, keep walking, and walk probably for like a good, in total it'd probably like be like around an hour, something like that. After that conversation, maybe like another 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to just this area where there's these massive trees, all bare without leaves on them, obviously because winter. And he'll just say, Well, let's see if we could find ourselves a happy tree. And
I think Vale would smirk and smile and he'd shake his head for a second. He's starting to get a little used to Owen.
And why don't you make a do you want to do survival or investigation?
I would like to do investigation. If
Make
you
an
give me the
investigation.
choice.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Okay. 13.
Okay, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you spend some time like kind of looking around.
It gets Isla involved.
Yeah. Before you find anything that calls out to you, Owen will just kind of call you over and point one out, and he'll say, "I think I found the one. This is a very old tree. Very kind tree. And while I think you're worthy of a bow, you're also going to have to prove it to the tree itself." And
Val
he'll
cocks
just
his head out of curiosity.
he'll just kind of pat the tree on the side, like just kind of smack the trunk of it like gently, and you just hear like the tree you see the tree kind of like move a little bit, like almost like it could have been wind, but it could have not been wind.
Okay.
And then there's just this big like
Size. Go. Oh. Did not expect that. He just like looks over at Owen, back at the tree, like back and forth a couple times, like what do I do?
Owen just kind of like looks at the tree and looks at you and gives you a bit of a nod, as if there's nothing out of the ordinary here, nothing you should be worried about.
Right.
And also, before I continue, did voice mod work when I did that a second ago?
Sure did.
All right, perfect. We had some problems a couple weeks ago, so I just want to make sure.
Vale just takes a step forward as if to kind of square and directly face the tree and says, "Hello, my name is Vale."
Hello. What brings you here?
Well, just looks over at Owen, says, "Owen here has agreed to make a bow for me, and thought that Ash might be a good option, and well, he brought me to you."
Well, I am flattered. Ash is, of course, the best option. But why? Why are you worthy?
I don't know that I am.
Okay. I'm just going to. We'll do this like almost skill challenge
Oh boy. Okay.
kind of way. So if there's not necessarily that you're gonna have to do like this and that and this and that and this and that, but like whatever you feel makes sense, however you try to do it, that's, you go for it. But when you say you don't think you might not be worthy.
Humility. not a trait that you find frequently. But why? Why should I make a bow for you?
The only answer I have is I want to protect the people that I love. Not really sure why else I would want one. Why else someone should want one.
This is a very noble cause. If Owen used me for a bow, would you even be qualified to handle it?
Elle kind of smiles like a little like, okay. I'm familiar with using a bow, yes. Do you need a demonstration?
What sort of demonstration?
Vale just summons the bow from his back to his hand. I have this one. Do you have... What sort of demonstration do you normally go for?
Well, it's not necessarily always the same. I would like to see if you could handle yourself. If you could handle a bow. I'd hate to have a piece of me with someone who would just make a fool of themselves.
Alright, Vale just starts to like look around for something kind of impressive within 100 to 151 feet. 100 to 150 feet away. It might be somewhat difficult to hit.
Okay.
Maybe like, I was gonna say like a piece of fruit, but it's winter. Maybe like some kind of like a knot in a tree far away, or maybe not. Don't want to go hitting his friends inadvertently.
There. Roll an investigation check.
Okay. Oh, 21.
There's a rather large pine cone about 100 feet away.
Okay. He just says, "Can you see that pine cone over there?" And he just points in the direction.
Yes. Yes, I can.
They'll just
It's a great distance away.
takes out an arrow, lines up his shot, and fires, trying to hit it.
Okay. Roll an attack.
Okie dokie. Oh boy. Okay. So I rolled a 3, but I get +9, so it's a 12.
Yeah.
I know it's small, but it's not moving. I don't know how you feel about that. It's within regular range.
I love that everyone is putting ACs of a pine cone. in
I know.
chat.
Yes. And none of them are on my side.
Yeah. Hey Google, what's the armor class of a pine cone? So for the investigation check, being so high, I was actually going to give you. I hadn't decided if I was going to give you a bonus or advantage on it, but I'm gonna give you advantage on it. So
Oh boy.
try again.
Okay. I'm gonna use a different die. Okay, so that's a 16 + 9. That would be a 25.
Yeah, it just kind of like and the pine cone breaks apart, and it is a very impressive shot.
Oh my. That was a very good shot. Do you
Thank you.
believe yourself worthy to wield a bow of exquisite design and character?
I would hope to wield no other.
Then you shall.
And
Thank you.
And there's just a you hear like a really loud, just like as just a branch just snaps and or whatever falls into the snow, and there's just a little bit of snow just poofs up off the ground as this branch comes down.
Val would bend over to pick it up.
There's a lot of weight to it. It's pretty heavy, but you're gonna be able to hold it, no problem. You know, you are a D&D hero, so your carry weight is a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So yeah, you're able to grab it, and the tree, and you catch Owen, and Owen just kind of gives you a quick smile and nod, and the tree itself will just say to you,
Vale, I expect you to wield this with honor. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. I shall endeavor to do so. Do you have a name?
It's not one that your kind would understand, but thank you.
Val just gives a respectful bow. And then just kind of like a little unsuredly looks at Owen.
And Owen will Evan just said Dennis in player chat.
You can call me Dennis instead.
Owen will just kind of look at you and say, well, your burden is going to be bringing this back to the house. Can you manage?
I think so.
And he'll
Gets it up over his neck and shoulders.
and he'll give a nod over to, like, he has a very respectful look on his face as he gives a nod over to the tree, and says, we'll be seeing you. And you hear, as you're walking away,
Goodbye.
I think Val would definitely turn. Hopefully doesn't, as he's turning, doesn't smack Owen with the branch. Accidentally.
Yeah, as you start walking back, Owen will just say to you, he's like, that was a very well placed shot. Seem to be a very accomplished archer.
It's what I've focused my training on. I've tried to keep sharp over the years.
Well, might I ask, why did you feel the need to bring armor on this journey?
case there was something that was going to attack us. I wanted to be prepared. Should I not have?
That's for you to decide. If you felt it was needed, then it must have been. There's no right or wrong there. That's just it's a personal decision.
Well, if something were to happen, why did you ask me that?
Because I wanted to know the answer.
Just shakes his head. Fair enough.
As you guys are walking back, he'll also just kind of continue on, and he'll just say, Vale, if you're looking for things to attack, you'll likely find them. But just make sure your focus is on things to defend.
Yes,
As I'm sure it is.
there are enough enemies out in the world. We don't need to add to them.
They'll give you a smile and a nod, and as you get about half hour through the journey, you should make a con save.
Okay.
So you have not taken a break, and that is a very
18
heavy
plus
log.
5. 23.
Nice, baby. Good job.
Likes the cold.
So yeah, you do fine, and unless there's something you want to ask of Owen, we could just.
No, I think Vale would just kind of appreciate the quiet a little bit. Like his mind tends to race, and I think he's just around Owen for some reason. He's just not as, his mind's not quite as swirly. You know,
Yeah.
if
I like that.
some form of small talk comes to his mind, he might engage, but nothing of significance.
Oh, so we've seen a lot of rain recently. So, how about that weather?
Pretty much.
So, yeah, you're able to make it back, no problem. And he'll just he'll tell you to take the piece of wood out to well, I don't know why I'm saying it this way. Fayla, you could take that piece of lumber there and just bring it around the back. There's a bottom floor, so to speak, that where that's where the workshop is. You can drop it
Okay.
off right over there.
He just nods and does as he is told.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you find it, no problem. You're able to get the wood in there, and then you see kind of a wide, a little bit of an open space in this bottom room, and there are arrows out on a table, various like strings about, and these metal tools like all hung up on the wall, and a piece of wood hanging up on the wall as well that just has these like notches cut out into it, and everything has like some sort of marking next to it, and almost like a holder like up top, and And then there's this, like, on the far side of the room, there's this little, like, hatch type thing, like, into the wall, and it's sort of like cemented in there. And that's everything in there. Those are all the things that stand out.
Yeah, I mean, he just would put it down, and he probably would just look at everything for an extra moment and then just leave and go back to wherever Owen might be.
Okay.
Also wants to check in with everybody. But
All right. And before we do that, let's just take our first quick break of the night.
okay.
If anyone has any questions about anything, just drop them in chat, and we will answer them as soon as we get back. So it's gonna be like 2 minutes, something like that. Everybody, we'll see you in a second. Let's
Feel good,
shall.
man. I feel good.
All right. Okay, let's shall.
Let's shall.
That's from Pajama Sam. Don't remember which one. Probably No Need to Hide When It's Dark Outside. That's the only one I really played.
I'm wearing pajamas, but my name is Jake.
I'm wearing a super cool button-down shirt and a pair of gym shorts from probably elementary school.
Have you not grown since then? Just had a need
It's
to
tricky.
ask that. Okay.
I mean, it's an excellent question, Jake.
It's like, ah.
Well, it has the old school. Maybe they were my brothers. Maybe that's why. They might be my brothers.
Yes.
In which case, that would make a little bit more sense.
He's always your big brother, whether he was in elementary school and you're an adult or not. Oh boy.
All right. Well, let's get back into it. So he brought the thing to his workshop, and he walked off to do his thing. And you, Vale, or before we even get to that, Melly, Echo, Mac, is there anything that you would like to do for it was probably a solid like 2.5 hours before they made it back to the house. So is there anything that you would like to do that you think you would be doing, whether it's something you want to roleplay or you just want to say, like, I was flipping a coin the entire time? Like, what was going on? What did you do?
I'll say Echo was probably went back to doing what he was doing, like, in this place when he doesn't really know what to do, which is to say, just kind of sit by a fire and just watch it. And he was kind of mindlessly fiddling with the broken piece of his staff that he got back from Mac. And how long... Izzee, how long would you say Melly was sitting outside? Like, does she come in at any point?
I think she probably would have stayed out maybe like a half an hour, 45 minutes, like to the point where it was like she couldn't sit outside any longer, even with like a blanket around her. Just because she was enjoying the atmosphere and the peacefulness, and she was a little taken aback by the whole being kind of exploded thing. So she just wanted to be like in a peaceful place where she knew she was safe.
Okay. Yeah, I would say if it was longer than about 30 minutes, Echo probably would have taken notice of that and kind of walked toward the door and like kind of peek his head out to see if she's still there. Would she still be sitting on the bench at that point, about a half hour?
Yeah,
Like
I think
rocking chair?
she would have been rocking probably like stirring to like get up and like folding like the blankets and getting ready to come in.
Okay. I think Echo would just kind of gently Hi, Millie. How are you?
I think that I am okay. It was a very odd experience what happened down by the lake. Being outside in the cool air definitely feels very peaceful, and I've never seen a more breathtaking view.
It is beautiful. Yeah, there was quite a lot. There was quite a lot happening down there. Millie, I don't know what to think. I know I was the one who sort of told you about meditation and how to empty your mind and, you know, think of nothing. I can't. I have been trying since we got back, and my mind will not stop. And I don't know what to do.
About which event?
I think that's just it. Until, you know, until recently, we didn't even know when we were. And then we find out that our friend sort of lied right to our faces for a while. You can see his expression starting to... He's having a little bit of a breakdown, it seems. And he communed with that thing, and then you touched the thing, and I don't know if you're okay, and everything is falling apart, and I just don't know what's happening, and I can't just get it to stop for a minute.
Mellie's gonna reach out and put her hand on your shoulder. Well, I guess first let me apologize, because I know reaching out and touching that whatever it is was out of character. And I'm sorry if I caused you worry. I just didn't want anyone else to be putting themselves in harm's way for that. I know it was reckless, and everything does feel like it's spiraling a little out of control. I honestly don't know what to think about what is going on with Vale.
Well, in a way, I'll say that helps. Constant chaos can be a constant. I don't feel so crazy, but right to our faces. For how long? I understand why. I'm sure you do too.
I get it, but at the same time, it's hard to accept that he would do something so reckless to keep everyone safe, even though it seemed like the safest choice at the time. And it's not just it's not just that I want us to be safe, I want him to be safe too. And there's just so much that we don't know. I do wish he had said something sooner, but I don't know. I don't know if there could have been a better time. Because there was so much already going on.
That's very true. Wouldn't have made things better if he brought it up while we were down in that underground for gods know how long. And oh gods, it's been a long couple of weeks, months, I don't even know anymore. But look, Melly, I'm sorry to have troubled you with this. I didn't mean to. I know you're also going through quite a lot yourself. Are you really okay?
At the moment, I think that I am. Time will tell if there's any lasting effect. I'll be honest, there was another residual effect after we were walking away from the lake. I was able to shake it off, but I don't know if that one time and then that second time are it, or if we'll be in the middle of something and it will bubble up again. But I know for certain that no one else should touch it until we have more information or someone who's stronger than any of us.
I don't think I would if I wanted to. But I must say that does worry me, Melly. Are you saying that not like as though you were knocked down and then your head started ringing a little later, like it's still trying to hurt you?
DM, was it like it was still trying to hurt me?
It certainly felt like it was still trying to do something. I don't, not necessarily like trying to hurt you, but it was just like, it's almost like it was just complete sensory overload, touching that, and there were residual effects of it aside from just the like being thrown back. Just like a little bit of like shock type thing. Couldn't necessarily say whether it's like, I don't know, whether it's like something in you that's trying to damage you or anything like that, but it was like your system just went into like, you know, if that makes any sense.
Was it the same sensation both times, or was the second time, was it a little bit more dampened?
The second time it was like, so the first time was it was a little bit more dampened the second time. But it was almost like the first time catching up with you, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me know if when I explain it to Echo, if I'm not explaining it well. But
Sure, you'll do better than I did.
it kind of felt like, you know, when you were a kid and you'd spin around and then you'd suddenly stop and the whole world would keep twisting, and then you'd fall back, and then you'd have that moment where everything caught up. That moment where everything caught up, that's what the second feeling was like. Not as intense as the first, but definitely some residual catching up from what happened before.
Okay. Well, I'll say that worries me a little less. This whole thing is just a lot. But, I appreciate you telling me, Melly.
Well, I'm happy to share it with you, and I don't know if I'll tell everyone else, but I feel like the two of us are kind of on the same page with a lot of things when it comes to the difficult things that have happened. And I just don't know where we're gonna go next in terms of figuring everything out. I know we have a location and people that we're planning to talk to. But if we don't get answers from there, I don't know what options we really have left.
Well, I'm sure we'll figure it out. I have faith in us. It's harder to right now, but I do. We've done some incredible things already. Certainly you have. So I think we'll be fine.
I have to say I agree. Everyone in this group is just fought with every ounce of their being every time that we've needed it. And while we don't always all see eye to eye on everything, I think we have a good balance.
I think so too. And while it may be hard to trust Vale right now, I think it's only fair that we at least try to protect him as well.
I just hope we could figure out a way to protect him from this.
It is a bit of a tall order. But we're clever. We'll find a way. And he'll lean in and just kind of give Melly a hug.
Melly will hug him back.
Well, that said, it is very cold out here, so if you'd like to join me back by the fire, I'll be back inside. Again,
Yes,
I'm sorry to have, taken your time.
You never need to apologize. Do we need any more firewood or anything?
So I would DM, I would imagine that there's quite a hefty stack of firewood already inside, or is it kind of outside in like a dry place separate from the house?
There's a good amount inside, and then there's also kind of like a stack. It's almost like a shelf type thing. I mean, you've all probably seen it before, where there's some sort of structure around it, and then just wood just stacked. So there's plenty outside, and there's also a fair amount inside that you think you have enough to keep the fire going for most of the day.
I think we're fine for now. I can make us some tea if you like.
That sounds absolutely pleasant. Have you seen Mac at all?
I think he went upstairs to his or Owen's room, someone's room, and I haven't heard much. He just seems to be keeping to himself. To be honest, I've been a bit distracted.
Yes, well, there was a lot going on. I'm sure he's probably processing everything too. If we don't see him in a little bit, I'll go see how he's doing.
I think that's a good idea. And Echo will nod, bow slightly, and then head inside to start making some tea.
Melly's gonna follow him inside. If she doesn't see Mac, I guess I'll give it like another 15 to 20 minutes, because at that point it'll have been almost an hour, maybe 45 minutes. So, whatever Mac would have done.
At that time, he was probably cleaning his poisoner's kit out and, getting rid of the dirty water that he had picked up.
Alright, so if he's still upstairs, Melly will go up and just knock on the door.
Come in.
Opens the door. Hey, is everything okay up here? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's been a long week.
Yeah, you might say it feels like we've had many months just smushed into one week.
Well, but it's been even more than that. It's just I don't know. You think everything can be controlled by your hands and your blades. And there's just some much bigger things at work here.
There are. You can till the soil and plant the seeds and put the water down, but if the sun doesn't shine, the plants won't grow. So, you can do a lot by your own hand, but there are some things that will always remain out of your control. How are you doing with the whole, veil and the scary spirit thing?
Honestly, that doesn't worry me probably as much as it worries you. While it's not always good to put off negative things that are going to happen, I feel like we do have much more immediate pressing threats. And whether or not it was the best choice, I understand he did what he had to do to try to make sure that all of us made it. And again, when you're making snap judgments like that, it's much easier to sit back after the fact and say, oh, you could have done this or should have done that. But the one thing that I do know about him is that his head was in the right place and his heart was in the right place, whether or not the decision was the best. And I trust him to do the same moving forward. And especially since he did share it with us, hopefully he'll keep us in the loop. I truly think he will. Otherwise, I don't see why he even bothered to tell us in the first place.
That's an excellent point. I don't doubt all the things that you said. And I know that you know Vale probably better than us, because you've known him for longer and you've been a companion of his for longer. So I do trust you when you say that his head and his heart were in the right place when he made those decisions.
But how are you feeling about it?
Born? Like I said, I do believe that he only did it to protect us. But it's hard when you learn that someone hasn't necessarily been lying directly to your face, but omitting truth. And like I said, down by the lake, I get it, but I'm still angry about it. Because we're trying to figure out what caused the corruption and how to stop it, and it feels like that's just something that he's invited further into his life. But I don't think that's... I don't know if it's fair to say. There's just so much going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to find out that months of time have passed, you know, plus everything that still has currently happened to us, and with having that object in our possession and still the unknown factor of that, and now adding that on top of it, it's a lot.
Yes.
I wish I could say that I had a better answer or a better, like, this is what we're gonna do. You know, I know we have a little bit of a game plan as to where we're heading, but I don't even know if they're gonna have any type of answers at all to even be able to give us any kind of direction, or if we'll just be at another dead end.
That's something that I am concerned about as well. I just truly hope we can find someone who at least can point us in the next step as to what to do next. It feels like a very uphill path that we're walking on. And I know that we also have other things that we need to tend to along the way.
What do you mean? You mean like with your family and your sister?
Well, I think we each have personal things, yeah. Are you okay?
I'm still a little bit shook up about after our conversation earlier. And then even more so just with what happened with the nuke in and of itself. Just,
Well,
I mean, luckily you're okay, but I'm pushing forward and too hard with things that I don't know. And I'm taking things into my own hands, and I'm pushing us. And I don't know if I'm the right person to be doing that. You know, and I just am struggling with just understanding how to trust people and then also be trustable myself.
well, as I said before, I trust you. And I get wanting to push us forward. I was just talking to Echo downstairs about some of the things that have unfolded, and I was telling him that there's a very delicate balance that our group has. So we need someone who's going to push us forward.
Yeah, but none of us can do this alone. You know, as much as I obviously believed it when I was telling Echo about how we need to stay together and how the only way that we're going to be able to do this is with all of us and what we can do together. On our own, none of us are going to be able to handle this. And as cheesy as that is, we have to pull it together, you know. And right now I feel like we're just kind of all over the place and each just kind of in our own little world, in our own little headspace, and that worries me as we move forward. And I don't know how we fix that.
I think that Vale probably took the first step. It's just about us being open about what is going on and maybe being more open about our plans and what we're hoping to do and what we think. Trust is a funny thing in that the only way to trust someone is just to start doing it. It's taking that first step and giving them the chance to prove that you can trust them.
Yeah. I think the block for me is the fact that I don't feel trustable. So that it makes me feel like if no one should be able to trust me, why should I be here?
Well,
And I'm not saying that as in that you guys don't trust me. It's more of just a struggle in my own self.
I'm certain that with time, it will get better. Part of it is just learning to trust yourself, I guess.
I appreciate that.
Well, I think you have a lot of weapons here that
there's multiple daggers and a few other assorted things. It's kind of like all laid out and cleaned, and you can tell I'm like gonna roll some stuff back up, but it's just like all kind of laid out. Like I've just been doing that this entire time.
I'm going to be honest, I had no idea that you carried this many weapons on you at all times. I'm very impressed because you know how to use all of them as well.
I mean, most of them are just different forms of a dagger, but thank you. Pointy end goes in.
But it's knowing which spots to hit that make the difference.
Fair enough. That is true.
That's what she said.
Well, Echo is making tea, so I'm gonna head back downstairs. Would you like me to ask him to make a cup for you whenever you're done?
I'm good, but thank you. I do appreciate it, and thank you for coming to check on me.
Of course. Melly will leave the room, put the door exactly as it was before. I don't know if it was shut or slightly ajar, and go downstairs for tea.
It wasn't shut.
Okay.
But was it open?
No.
Pretty sure it was a jar.
No, it's a door.
It's See, you pretend you don't like him, Michael. you just helped. That entire scene.
Now I will
Between
hang
the
my
three
head
of
in
you, just-
shame.
All right. So, Echo is making tea,
Yes.
correct? Are you trying to look through your own bag and see what you have, or are you opening up his cabinets and seeing what he has?
I think Echo's first thought would be to see if he still has some tea that he's had, like, from home or something. I think at this point he probably doesn't. It's been a while since he's, been traveling, but I guess I could leave that in your hands. I don't know.
I would leave that in your hands if you think you would have nothing, or if you think maybe there's that like tiny bit that you held on to and have been saving for a perfect moment. I think that's.
I think what I'll say is that until now, that tea didn't exist. But I think it makes perfect sense for Echo to have had something like that.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Echo has tea now. Yeah, no, he would probably have. I'm trying to think of how many cups worth he would have left, because it would definitely not be a lot. And like you said, it would be something he'd be saving for like a special occasion. I thought it would be something that like he would have at the monastery at Baise's Teal. I don't know what kind of flowers and things grow over there, but a nice herbal tea of some kind that he's just held on to. I feel like I should roll for how much he has left.
Go for it.
All right, I'm gonna roll it. What do you think? What should I roll for that?
I would say a D4.
Okay, I think that's perfectly reasonable. Please.
For how many cups worth you have?
Wow, that was at 4.
4 cups worth left.
4 cups. Okay.
It would have been sad if you rolled a 1.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but I think
Melly, there's no tea left for you.
well, that would have been a different. We would have seen how that would have gone, but
That would have been interesting.
yeah. So yeah, Echo, I guess he looks through his bag. He finds that he's got enough for about 4 cups. So he thinks for a minute, and he pulls out 4 mugs, if he can, the nice wooden mugs, same ones I guess from yesterday.
Well, yeah, actually, I mean, so you open one of the cabinets and you see that there are actually some ceramic mugs there, and it looks like the base color might have been white, but there are these different images on them. Like one of them is like a river with all of these fir trees lining it, some rocks in the middle, and a large like mountain in the background with like a there's like a blue sky, but also like a little bit of a sunrise in there, some pink, and also some clouds overhead. You see another one where it's like a waterfall, and again all of these trees around, and this one has like more of like a darker feel to it. There's another one where it's actually, it looks like the lake that you were just watching, and in the distance you see the mountains, the Flatkit Mountains, and it's it's a sunset that's being depicted there. There's pinks and reds and orange in the sky, and it's being reflected off the water, and it's all very nice.
God. Owen, you are a man of mystery, and I love it all. And he'll reach in, and he'll actually pull out 5 mugs, if there are 5.
Yeah, there are 5.
Okay. So he will prepare. Would tea bags be a thing? Like, would it be like 4 tea bags? Is that fair to say?
It would not be 4 tea bags. It's all loose tea.
It's just sort of loose tea.
Loose tea. He does have a teapot just like sitting on the counter, and if you pick it up and open it, you see that there's a little when you pop the little top off, there's a little chamber in there in which you could drop the loose tea inside of and fill with water and heat it up.
Okay. So Echo will he will pull out 5 mugs. He will put the leaves in the little chamber, and he will put 4 cups worth of water in the teapot as to not
Lovely.
dilute the tea. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask you. You said like an herbal tea, so like implying that it's not like a tea. It's more of like a some sort of like other plant thing.
Yeah.
What do you think it would be? Or you don't have to say a specific, or if you have like a.
So I would describe it like a lemon echinacea, but with a slightly like fruitier, like a slightly sweeter, fruitier like after note, almost like when you take the breath out after drinking a nice cup of tea. And I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about. Like you drink, you get a nice big sip, and then you just have that, and then there's just a sweetness that rolls through your mouth on that breath out. You don't taste it so much while you're drinking it, but just afterwards, there's this nice, just like this refreshing, nice sweetness.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So he, there's a slight hesitance as he is like holding the last of his tea, and he just drops it in. Turns on the he lights the, I'm assuming it's the same wood burning stove as before. So if it's not already running, he will he'll just light it, either grab a torch or whatever it is that he has to do to light it without needing to use a flint because he's lazy. And he'll get that water boiling. And yeah, that's pretty much it. He'll just wait for that to be ready to go.
Okay. Yeah. Melly, as you're finishing up your conversation with Mac, you hear like a. I'm not gonna do an actual tea whistle, but you hear like the whistle of boiling water in a teapot. And yeah, Echo, you do your thing, and
yeah, once it finishes, he's going to pour it out, and then he is going to put if there's any kind of parchment, he would use that. Otherwise, he would use coasters and put something on top of each mug. He only pours out 4 of them. But this was a way that he was taught to steep his tea, so it doesn't let any of the good flavor get out, and it keeps the heat in there. So he puts like something on there. It could be a saucer if there's saucers with those mugs. Otherwise, he just finds whatever he can, caps them all off, and then he starts boiling 1 more cup of hot water. And if it's quick enough, even once it's warm, he just pours that in the last mug, which he picks up himself. If nobody else shows up.
So you did like a second infusion out of it, like whatever was left, you kind of tried to make extra tea with that.
Yeah, basically, expecting not much to come out of it. Yeah.
All right. Nice. So I'm sorry, when you ended your conversation with Mac, did you were going back down to see how the tea was coming along? And Mac, did you say that you wanted tea or not?
No, I did not.
Okay. And
Yeah,
Echo,
Melly's Melly's just going downstairs to see where the tea's at.
Yeah, so you go downstairs and you find Echo putting like saucers on top, trying to keep everything warm and nice.
Oh. Melly, would you like? I mean, I think it should steep for a few minutes, but once they're ready, you're more than welcome. This is the good stuff.
I would absolutely love a cup of tea. Just let me know when it's okay to drink it. I never really know when the right time is, and then it's either too bitter or it's just not strong enough, and
I'll just give it a few. It shouldn't take long.
is there anything I can do to help prepare it? I don't drink a lot of tea or coffee. I didn't drink any coffee yesterday.
Oh, it was vile.
Oh. I'm glad I didn't then.
But no, that's quite all right, Melly. Just make yourself comfortable, and once it's done, I'll bring it over. I'm assuming Mac is going to have some.
No, he wasn't interested in having some, at least not right now. It does smell amazing, so maybe when he comes down, he'll change his mind.
His eyes narrow a little bit. And he'll he'll grab one of the cups, and just walk upstairs with it, and he'll end up putting it like right outside the door, like basically right in the middle of the hallway. Right in front of the door, still covered. And then
I'm assuming I would hear him and hear like set down on the floor, right?
Unless he was trying to be sneaky, I'd say the door was fairly open too.
Yeah, he wasn't being like petty, like slamming it down or anything like that, but he just boop, there you go, and went back downstairs.
I go and get it. And I do drink it.
Nice. Yeah, it's exactly like how he explained it before. It's got this like lemon forward flavor, but then after you take a sip of it and kind of breathe out, there's this sweetness that kind of coats your mouth, almost like honey, but more of like a citrusy and a little bit less intense. It's very good. Excellent tea. Or excellent infusion.
Well, his was the real stuff. Max was the real stuff.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that was clear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm just a tea snob. That's a conversation for another day. So Mac, as you're kind of as you're going through all of your weapons and everything, do you clean the new dagger as well?
Yes, I do.
As you're cleaning it, you just kind of hear this voice in your head, almost like a thought, and you just hear, "Wow, that was a pretty cool fight before, huh?" To be honest, I didn't think you were going to be able to take that thing down.
And I try to like speak in my head, like, who are you? does any like do I hear it out loud or is it just in my head?
It's in your head.
Okay.
Oh, me? I'm the blade. The blade of broken mirrors. You picked me up the other day. You just you know, I have another name I go by too, but it's kind of long. You just call me Reggie if you want.
Reggie.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've never been talked to by a blade before, so this is different. But then again, you can do some pretty cool stuff.
Oh man, we had some pretty good times together already. I got the feeling this is going to be a pretty wonderful relationship here. You're a pretty powerful little guy, aren't you?
That I am. How did you do that thing when I threw you and then you were just like back in my hand again?
You know, it's just listen, I'm a very well-made dagger. You know, there's you're gonna find there's some pretty cool things I could do, and you know, it's we're just gonna. I can just tell we're gonna have a lot of fun together.
I agree. And I just kind of like twirl it a little bit in my hand some.
I gotta say, man, when you ran and just jumped on that thing, oh man, that was great. Those are the moments I live for.
Did you feel the way its eye popped?
Oh yeah, are you kidding me? I was there the whole time. Oh man, that was great. I loved it. Yeah, you should do more stuff like that. It's been a while. It's been a while since we did something like that, hasn't it?
Too long.
But, well, hopefully we'll be out there, you know, just having more fun soon, right?
We're probably leaving here in a day or two.
Well,
there's not much around here though. They got this place locked down pretty tight.
I'm sure you'll find something. I'm sure you will. Well, you know, I just thought I'd say hi. Just want to say I love your work, and I'm just excited to continue on in the future and just you know, explore this relationship.
It's mutual.
Great. Well, I'll let you get to it, and I'm just yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
I put the dagger down. No, actually, I put it in its sheath.
We'll say at this moment to the tea is steeped, ready to go. Melly's probably drinking it, and Owen opens up the door and steps in, and they'll just take a look at you and say, I see you found the teapot.
Yes, I do apologize. I hope you don't mind that I made use of it.
Oh no, that's what it's there for. I'm glad you were able to use it and get everything set up. Hope you're all comfortable here.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, right. Here. And he'll grab one of the mugs and offer it to Owen.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
It's something I brought from, well, not home, but closest thing I've had to it in a while. So thought it'd be nice to share it with some good people in a good place.
Well, Echo, I know this must be very important to you if you brought it along this way and held on to it for so long. So thank you for sharing it.
Did Vale come in as well?
It's probably a couple minutes after Vale steps in, because Vale went out to the workshop and
Yeah, tried to close up,
Mm.
and then just kicking his boots. So, did you make tea?
Yes. Here, and he grabs the last fully infused mug and hands it to Vale.
This is perfect. Thank you, Echo.
Hmm.
Just takes his hands around it. He's like, just lets the warm mug kind of sit in his hands for that moment.
Echo grabs the second infusion mug and takes a sip.
it's like you get the flavors, but it's all kind of like muted. You still get like the essence of what it is and that like warm feeling of home, but it's just not everything that it's not as good as it normally would be. It's watered down.
He still accepts the warmth of it and smiles a bit and finds a comfy place to sit down by the fire.
Owen will just say, well, I've got a lot of work cut out for me. I'm gonna head down to the workshop and I'll spend a little bit of time there, and then Vale, I will need some help from you a bit later.
Of course, anything you need.
I'll give you all a nod, and he'll head off to the workshop, and he'll start doing his thing.
So I talked to a tree, and it spoke back to me. Actually, it started the conversation. It's actually quite interesting.
It sounds like you've had a better day than we have so far.
For a brief moment, you saw a spark of Vale sharing his intellectual pursuits with you. The same spark you'd see in his eye, and then you said that, and his face just sinks for a sec. Did something else happen? Is Melly okay? And he just like looks at her. Oh, well, yes.
Well. It's not that there was more, but there was a little bit more of, like a residual feeling when we were walking back from the lake. Much subtler, but something worth mentioning nonetheless.
Is there anything we can do to help?
I don't think so. Just keep an eye on me, I guess. If I stop breathing, try to resuscitate me.
Hal just nods. Of course. And Mac is not here, right? He's still upstairs. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. either of you have any questions for me that you would like me to answer, I will do so and be forthright. Just... I just want you to know that you can ask me.
I do have one question. What did the tree have to say? And he smiles as he says that.
Well, he speaks kind of slowly, like a new friend. He asked if I was worthy to wield a bow of his make. To which I said, I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Ooh, how loaded was that?
You can see sarcasm in his face when he says it.
Okay.
More meant as a jab, like a half joking, mostly joking jab.
Do I feel like his intent was to tease or to jab?
Tease.
Okay.
Yeah. More trying to like kind of break the tension a little bit.
Sure. So I was like, wait, I gotta ask that question.
Mhm.
Well, he actually said if I'm to wield a bow made from him, he didn't want to look foolish. So I shot a pine cone that was very far away. I don't know.
Oh, certainly nothing foolish about that.
No, it was very serious.
Did the tree take it well when you shot the pine cone?
Didn't seem to mind. It was, at the very least, the pine cone didn't belong to him. Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that pine cones have tree seeds in them.
Oh, Melly, why?
Oh, gods.
Well, he gave me one of his branches.
Oh, gods.
Okay, phrasing. I realize it may not sound very good. I did carry the thing all the way back here.
You guys hear Max starting to like come down the stairs. And walks in. This tea was amazing. I do have to ask, was there anything hallucinogenic in this tea?
I hope not.
Puts the
Okay.
tea away from his face for a second.
Well, then, this dagger is actually sentient, and I kind of just like twirl it just a little bit because it was talking to me earlier, and then I just kind of like put it back in its sheath. I knew it was magical, but I didn't realize that it could do that. It told me it had fun during that fight, even though it didn't think we were gonna win.
Vale
Oh.
is speechless with his jaw dropped. He's just like,
Yeah, at this point, Echo's just staring at the embers and like laughing. It's just, it's like, whatever, sure. Yeah.
His name is Reggie.
of course it is. Can you tell Reggie I said hello?
Sure. I don't say anything to Reggie right now.
Vale just shakes his head like. Ooh. Okay. Does he seem like he's a nice? This is silly to ask. A nice dagger?
It just seemed excited to be in the hands of somebody that would use it.
Oh. Okay.
It didn't really seem one way or the other, as in good or bad. Wasn't really that long of a conversation.
Mr. Josh, in all of Vale's studying of history of Malaismere and just things being Vale, is he aware of sentient weapons and or a dagger named Reggie?
He's definitely heard of sentient weapons before.
Okay.
He would know that it's not common, very uncommon, and usually, if a weapon is sentient, it's usually pretty powerful.
Hmm.
But Reggie, no, you've never heard of Reggie specifically.
And there's no possible connection? Is there a possible connection point or leap off point from Reggie to something familiar?
Reginald.
Yes. Absolutely.
It was his evil dagger,
Yeah.
Reginald, but you know,
Don't
couldn't be
don't say
him.
that name.
That is a name I haven't heard in years.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'd say that there would be no jumping off point for
Sure.
for Reggie. And you do know, I mean, well, no, yeah, no, there'd be no jumping off point.
Okay. Does the dagger have any writing on it? I forget if there was or not.
Are you asking Mac?
Okay, I wasn't sure if he remembered or not, but if
I don't remember off the top of my head.
So this dagger, it's like a piece of jagged stone, and the blade is inscribed with like a maze-like pattern that, as much as you look at it, you really can't tell the beginning or the end.
I did remember that. I didn't remember if there was words of some kind.
No words.
Well, Mac, that sort of weapon is uncommonly rare.
Yes, I definitely know, but I just wanted to let everyone know. Like, this is the first time it talked to me while I was cleaning it just a little bit ago.
Well, thank you for letting us know, Mac. I've never heard of this happening, but do let us know if it starts to get suspicious. Or if you start to feel like it's going to harm you in some way, which might sound silly, but I don't really know what to expect.
I do have a question for you, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
When I was talking to it, did I feel like it was exerting any kind of pressure on me?
Nope. It
Like
was just-
other than the words?
it was like just a genuine excitement from it, and it at least at this moment, like you didn't feel like it was trying to sway you in any sort of direction or anything like that. It was just introducing itself.
I will definitely keep everyone apprised of Reggie.
As you guys are having this conversation, you feel like an intense warmth, and you see that there's just like almost like a reddish orange glow coming from the workshop, and the snow near it is melting. As Owen has begun working on the bow.
Interesting.
What is he?
Not entirely sure. From what I gather, he used to make weapons quite often. But it's not something. I don't know how much you've caught. It's not something he cares to do, at least lightly, anymore.
I have a lot of respect for that.
Me too.
I'm sure whatever he makes, you're going to make good use of it, Vale.
Thank you, Echo. I feel like that hit him right in the heart there.
Echo, I think if that glow continues, by the way, like, so is it the workshop is separate from the house, or is it just another room that we can kind of see from where we are?
So it is like, it's almost like a basement type thing.
Okay.
So not really basement. So the house itself, like, it's kind of up, like the path to get to it is almost like a hill, and that porch that wraps around is a little bit elevated in certain spots. So if you were to go down on the other side of it, there's an opening there, and then and a room, and that would be where it is.
Okay.
So I mean, you could probably find a staircase and go down into it from like the house itself, or you could just walk out the door and go around and go into it. And Vale had seen it, and he would know exactly where it is too.
I'll say Echo doesn't feel like he should watch him, but he just wants to like watch that afterglow. You know, he just
Sure.
So wherever it is that he can kind of see that from, even if it's just like a window that he can kind of go up to while he's sipping on his stale tea, basically.
For some reason, I envisioned you with a snifter of like Courvoisier, like sipping on his.
So it's more like, I would describe it like he's probably found a blanket by this point, and he's got it like over his shoulders, and he's just sort of holding it like at his chin, next to the window, and just like maybe breathing in the steam and thinking, and just watching the glow. But if I did cut you off, so if there was anything more you wanted to say to Echo, I don't know if there was anything.
No, I think all Vale wanted to communicate was that it's a significant thing for him to do this. So if you were to disrupt him, know that, I guess. I don't know, it was kind of that's all. It sounds like you could pick that up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he just sits there and watches the glow.
Yeah.
Makes a point to like listen if he hears like, you know, the sound of the carving tools and things like that. He's just kind of absorbing the ambience of everything.
So at least for the first few, probably half an hour or so, there is no sound of carving tools or anything. You do hear like just a little bit of like a just like kind of like a low, almost like roar or growl type thing. Not like a ooh, but just like, you know, there's some sort of just low sound, and just the heat radiating from this room underneath the house, and you see the glow shining out, and you're able to see the glow through the window. and that continues on for probably about half hour or so. Once that it stops, and you don't hear that sound anymore, and the glow like begins to fade a little bit, and the heat begins to fade. There is still some like kind of it's a little bit there, but not nearly as bright as it was before. Almost as if like whatever that was is like winding down, and cooling off. And at that point, you do hear the sounds of woodworking tools and just like a lot of like that kind of stuff. And as he just continues to work, probably about 2 hours after he had left originally, Owen would pop back into the main room, and he's got wood like sawdust on him, and like it's in his beard and his hair, and there's sweat all over him, and he'll find Mac, you okay? Michael?
Izzee was just real dark in our player chat. Real dark.
She went there.
Yeah, just real dark. We're like, oh, it wasn't killing Owen. I'll just say that.
Well, all right.
Yep, that was. Yep. Oh.
Would you like to share with the rest of the class?
I don't know.
Paragon _DPS, thank you for the subscription.
I think I would have to let Izzee say it.
No, you don't have to. You don't.
I don't think.
I'm teasing. So Owen comes and and finds. We all simp for Yoda here, I have to say. Owen comes and finds Vale and he just says, Vale, if you have a moment, if you could come down and follow me to the workshop, I just need you for just a quick moment.
Of course. I feel like he probably would have just been like reading something by the fireplace, like maybe the Archmage's book, and he just leaves it on the like coffee table and.
Okay. Yeah, and he won't. He'll say that if everyone's in the room, he'll say it openly. Like he doesn't try to like find you and say it quietly or anything like that. So he'll step out, walk down, and you get to the workshop, and you see this like long board, and previously it was just a. It was just like a log, right? Just a branch, a thick branch. And now it's just a piece probably about like this thick, and it just goes out. And as you're looking at it, you see that the grain of the wood just goes all the way straight down. There's almost no curve in it at all. And it's kind of I'd say just knowing like a little bit about bows and just woodworking in general, like you shouldn't be able to work with wood that you just cut off of a tree. It needs to be dried. In some cases that could take a year or more just to dry the wood. But he'll just he'll ask you to stand with your back against the wall, and he'll just say, Vale, if you could just stand right over there and just outstretch your arms against the wall. I just need to measure your draw length.
Yeah, Vale will do that.
He'll he'll go up to you with like a measuring tape and just you see you see him just kind of like jot notes down and everything, and he'll just say, "All right, that was all I needed from you. I'll continue working." And
This is very impressive to do something like this that quickly.
well, this is my craft. I've been doing this for quite some time.
And he looks like he's human, right?
Yeah, he looks human.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, when you devote enough time into learning how to do something, it becomes like second nature.
Yes, it does.
And we'll kind of turn away from you, and you see him start marking this, like it's a fairly just like squared off piece of wood, and you see him start to mark with like a pencil, like a shape into the side of it, and he'll just start cutting away at it until this, and you could watch for as long as you want, or if you think Vale would step away, that's...
I think Vale would be very curious at the process. I know he's seen it before. Didn't sound to me like he was asking him to leave.
He was absolutely not asking you to leave.
Yeah.
He just kind of like turned and just continued on with what he was doing, though.
I feel like Vale actually may just be quiet and watch.
Okay. I kind of felt like that too, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to,
Yeah.
you know. So he starts off just kind of marking a shape into this stick, or this board, and he begins to he clamps it down on this table, and he begins to go over it with this carving tool. It's almost like it's like a blade with a grip on each side, and there's a name for it that is escaping me, but he just begins to just push down on it, and is just scraping away these long strips of wood shavings off of this, and he spends some time doing it, and you see it still doesn't look like exactly like a bow, but in pretty much no time at all, like it's starting to take shape. It's going from just a board to an actual bow. You see that it's thicker in the middle, and it actually, whereas like he's taking a lot off of the one side and a lot off the other side, the middle actually comes out like this much, whereas the rest of it is about that thin. And he'll turn, kind of notice that you're still there, and he'll just say, Vale, since you're still here, can I just take a look at your hands? And
Yes, of course.
so I'll just ask you to just like stick your hand out. He'll kind of look at it, almost like he's just like studying your hand for a second. Grab your hand, turn a little bit. He'll go like that with it and see, just like kind of move your hand around a little bit, and then taking like a mental note of it, and then he begins to start carving out that thick part of wood in the middle, and you see that it's almost taking like a shape, like almost like a grip, and there's a spot like for your thumb to go in and everything like that, and he begins to he takes a tool that it's almost like a pen but like sharp metal, and he just begins to kind of carve out a piece into the wood there, and he just continues on working, shaving pieces off of this until it starts to look like a bow, and he picks it up, blows off some of the sawdust off of it, looks at it, inspects the whole thing, making sure it's okay, and then he takes that same piece that he that was like a little metal stick, and he begins to start to cut away a little bit from the end, and then cut away the other side on the end, and then he flips it around and he does the same thing. He grabs it, inspects it again, and starts to, like, he holds it, pushes it on the ground, and just gives it a little bit of a bend just to see how it'll react. And he inspects it again, just kind of takes like a mental note of it. He then grabs one of the strings that you saw on the table. Actually, no. Before he does that, you notice on the far side of the room there's like some animal skins hanging off there, and he'll kind of go over there and he'll take this, like, there's a bucket of water on the side, and he kind of picks up from it this white, like, almost looks like gooey, but like it's solid. It's like a sheet, but it's just kind of like, it just has like a nasty like texture to it. Hunting and being around like supplies and that kind of stuff, you'd know it to be rawhide, but just wet, like he had been soaking it for quite some time. And he takes that out and he begins to wrap this shape, this bow shape thing. He begins to wrap it in this wet, flexible rawhide, and then from there, once the entire thing is tightly wrapped and covered, he grabs like this bandage type material and like wraps that around it, and it almost looks like a mummified bow. And he's just gonna put that down on the on a little shelf, just kind of take a deep breath, and he'll just say, all right, well, I think that's all we can do today, but we should be able to get things finished up tomorrow.
Yes, of course. How have I, between my knowledge of bow making, how unique of an experience was that?
I mean, like, you've seen people quickly. You've probably seen like an armorer or just like a woodworker in town like quickly do stuff like that, but not really take super important care to the details.
Yeah.
And I'd say the rawhide specifically is something that you've not seen done before. That was and the wrapping, especially like mummifying the bow, you've definitely never seen that before.
I'm curious what the rawhide was for. I don't think I've ever known that to be part of this process.
That's an old trick I picked up along the way. Helps to just give the bow a little bit of strength, a little bit more flex, a little hold up.
Yes, well. Are you hungry? But can we make you something?
He'll just say, yeah, I think that'd be nice. Let's see what we can whip up for dinner quickly.
Yes, of course. And then Vale will head out of the workshop and just follow his lead.
He'll and you see actually before he leaves, he takes the bow that was on the shelf and he opens up that little chamber that you saw on the side of the wall with like the cement surrounding it, sticks it in there, closes it up, gives it a pat, and then he'll walk out of the workshop. Yeah, he'll just pop up, go in the house, and I'm planning on speed running this, but if you guys want to slow it down, that's fine. But
I think it's fine.
he'll go in and start whipping up some food, and he makes like just make some nice food. And
That works. I like nice food.
and he again he has the spitting, and if all of you are eating together, he will just tell you, as you know, tomorrow is Baron Eve. It is it's winter's longest night. It's the longest day this season. So I usually get up very early and watch the sunrise and watch the sunset. And, well, there's plenty of other stuff in between. But if you all would, if you'd like to join me, I'll wake you before I start my day. I know everyone celebrates a little differently, and you're welcome to do as you please. But if you'd like to join me, just let me know.
Do you have any candles?
I have many.
Vales just kind of like looks down at the table like he's a little... He just says, "Do you have 35?
I have many.
Vale's face is very sunken. I will join you tomorrow morning.
As will I.
I will too.
Melly
Good
just
luck.
nods her head.
Okay. Well then, I'm happy to hear that. I think you're welcome to stay up as long as you'd like, but tomorrow's gonna be a long day, and well, I'm gonna get some rest.
Thank you, Owen.
As you guys make everybody make an insight check.
A 9. Makes sense. Don't think Vales is focused at the moment.
12.
A 19 plus 6 for a 25.
Ooh.
Bueller.
Sorry. I had to find it. I wasn't on the page yet. So 15.
Okay. I'd say, Evan, your Echo is really the only one who notices this. But he looks different than he did before he started making the bow. Like seeing him afterwards, he looks like exhausted, but it's almost more than that. It looks like he's aged since he started making the bow. Like since before he walked away and since he came back, he looks beat up. And you could tell that he's like trying to hide it and not say anything of it, and just continue on as normal. But like he definitely looks weathered, we'll say.
Okay, and where did he go?
Right now,
Yeah.
he went down to the area where he showed you where Peapod was.
Okay. I think Echo's just going to say, I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And with that exact cadence, and he will just walk down to try to meet up with him.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you see him actually with a little the same way you saw him the night before when he was feeding Peapod. He's now doing that again. I'll just kind of look up at you or look down to you, I guess. Say, hello, Echo. Is there anything I could help you with?
I was actually hoping to ask you that, Mr. Owen. Are you all right? I didn't want to make a scene, but you don't look well.
I'll be just fine. This is Baron Eve is it's a very difficult day for me. And haven't made a bow in quite some time. Haven't worked this hard in a while, so I think that's just it. Thank you for checking in.
Oh, certainly. And I just want to tell you that I respect your respect of weapons. Or I suppose an educated fear of them? I'm not sure how to put it, but it is a great weight to own a weapon. I can't imagine how much it must weigh to make them. And I just need to know... I need you to know that we appreciate everything that you're doing, and you've been more than good to us. And if this is something that's going to hurt you in some way, we would never ask you to do that.
I know you would. Thank you, Echo. Anytime I make a weapon, a part of myself goes with it. I don't take it lightly. And I know none of you would ever ask me to do something if it was gonna damage myself. And that's precisely why I would do it. I'll be fine. Done it before. Echo, I just want to tell you that I appreciate your respect for weapons, especially these days. Well, people are very, very selfish. They don't think about the risk.
I'm sorry, I'll just say, as he says that, Echo puts a hand on the pocket where he has the piece of his broken weapon. And he looks a little upset. Without the intent to interrupt, just want to make that.
Yeah. He'll just continue and just say, they don't think about the responsibility for making a weapon of war or carrying one or anything of the sort. They just think about themselves. I know that a lot of people have died because of things that I've created. Many of them deserve to, but many of them didn't. He just kind of looks down for a moment. I'm gonna just roll to see if he notices you. Yeah, he doesn't notice that you're doing that unless it's very, very obvious. He doesn't notice that you're doing anything.
No, that it wasn't. It was more just to
Mhm.
It wouldn't have been a thing that he would have necessarily noticed. So
Just a little flavor.
mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Mr. Owen. And I wish I knew what to say. But you can't carry all of that weight on yourself. I know you want to. I know you want to blame yourself for any lives that your weapons may have taken, but it's not your choices, it's the choices of those who hold them. And there's only so far that your choices will go after you create them. I suppose you hold some responsibility for it in some way, but I think it's a little unfair. It's probably too simple to say not to blame yourself too much about it, but I'm sorry, I'm blabbering a little bit, but in any case, I hope, I think we could all use a little perspective, and I think that tomorrow will help us with that tremendously. I have to say that I certainly didn't spend enough time thinking about those who I've lost, and it's come back to be a problem. So, thank you.
Well, thank you, Echo. And he gives you a smile.
Right. Well, good night, Mr. Owen. And good night, Peapod. And
Good night.
he'll bow and make his way upstairs.
He'll match your bow.
Yeah, and he'll just work his way up to... I think at this point he would probably... Well, no, he'll just go meet up with the rest of the group at this point, if they're all still up there. Otherwise, he'll make his way up to bed.
Anybody still up there? Still want to do anything, or are we all going to sleep?
I think that Melly may, or I think I might have forgotten to tell Mac about the second time that Melly was feeling woozy when they were leaving the lake. So she definitely would have told him that. Whether we want to say that it happened when she went up there to talk to him, or say that she said it, when it was just them at the table without Owen. But she would have absolutely told him.
Okay. Would you think Mac would have any sort of special reaction to that?
I mean, you would see a serious look of concern on his face. Like, and definitely just like, if he wasn't giving you 100% of attention when you said it, like if we were just like doing whatever or whatnot, it would definitely be like kind of like a wait, what kind of a look, and then concern. I don't think there's. I'd probably just like, have you had anything since then?
No, it was just those 2 instances, and the second one really wasn't much. I was able to just shake it off and keep walking. So I will let everyone know if anything else happens.
Okay, thank you. And you see that Mac is a little bit shaken as he walks upstairs, like not fully out of it, but just like you can tell that that's what's on his mind. But then I would just be going to the large room that I've been commandeered.
I think Val would have still been sitting at the table, just kind of staring at it while you guys were having that conversation. Following it, but not like...
It's like when you're there, you're not there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there anything else you guys wanted to do, or just sleep?
Yeah. Get our rest, I think, is fine. At least with me.
Same.
All right. Okay. So, one moment. I see a message in chat. I wanna. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you all go to take a rest, and you could apply a long rest if you need to. I don't think anyone did anything that requires them to do that, but
I actually have an sorry.
It's all
Real
good.
quick thing. While Val's getting ready to get into his trance, he doesn't know how and how he possibly contacts his patron. But he just sends out there, do you know who Reggie is? Not necessarily expecting a response, but just trying to throw it out there. That's all.
Yeah, you do not get a response.
And he just tries to get his rest.
All right. So really early in the morning, it's actually just before the sunrise. Owen he'll do this for each of you and just give you a little gentle knock on the door and peek his head in and just say, I'm getting ready to get started. So if you'd, whenever you're ready, just meet me downstairs.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question, because I don't know exactly how it works or how it goes away. My exhaustion would be gone, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I thought so,
no.
but I wasn't sure if it took more than one rest to remove a level of exhaustion or something of that nature.
Yeah, every long rest you could remove one level of exhaustion.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No problem. I think that's how it works. Pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah, so as long as everyone meets him downstairs, he'll just kind of walk down to the lake, and he'll say, Baron Eve is it's winter's longest night, but it's also winter's longest day, and I feel the best way to celebrate and pay respect to all those lost is to give them the full day. So I get up before sunset, watch the sunset. We watch the sunrise as well. And he kind of just like, he's fairly quiet for the most part, aside from just explaining that to you. Fairly quiet, and he just sits and, you know, just watches the sun begin to rise over the lake, and you see bright colors of like pink and orange and reds, and it reflects off the lake, and it's beautiful, and very solemn. Like it would be an excellent place to sit and think and just reflect, and that's exactly what he's doing. But I mean, he's gonna stay quiet for the entire sunrise. If anyone wants to say anything, you could go for it, or if you're just gonna kind of observe, that's perfectly fine as well.
He's at the end of the dock, so you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If there's space to sit next to him.
Sure. Yeah, I
Dale
mean, it's
would do that. I think he wouldn't be like uncomfortably close to him, but
yeah, it's fairly large, so there's room for sure.
he would just do that and just look out over the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks like kind of distant, but at the same time, like you could see there's an appreciation that he has for you guys joining him in this. And you know, as the sun rises and you know sunrise is over and everything, he'll just gonna stand up, take a deep breath, and just say, I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of death and a lot of things I wish I could forget, but it wouldn't be fair to those involved if I chose to forget. So I do my best to continue on every day, and this day is when we think about the friends long gone and the foes as well. And he'll say, I'm gonna go inside. Well, I'm gonna make some tea. Would you all like some as well?
Yes, thank you. I'll be in soon.
Please.
Feel free to join me whenever you're ready. And I'll just walk back up and, you know, start doing his thing.
Dale's just gonna linger. I don't know what the three of you are doing, but he may be another 10 minutes.
I would actually ask in my head, Reggie, do you have any Baron's Eve memories?
I mean, you know, I try not to really like dwell on those kind of things. I live in the moment, you know? That's what I do.
You had to have had some cool experiences.
I've had some great experiences. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, we move forward, right? It's about the future
But you learn from the past.
that you do.
Just curious.
I'll bet you've had some fun adventures, though.
Oh yeah.
You don't learn to be that good with a dagger just on a whim. It takes time. It takes commitment.
Trained all my life for it. I was raised this way.
Well, do you remember anyone on Baron Eve?
I wouldn't say any one person in particular. But anyway. And then I get up and just walk back into the house.
As you walk in and take a look, you see that Owen has got these tea leaves in his hands that kind of looks like it's these green, shriveled up, like little tiny leaves. And he actually, wait a second. Like there's some like some of them are like kind of leafy, and some of them almost looks like a ball. But just very small and like dehydrated and really just dried up. And he takes them and he throws them into this pot. He brings some water to a boil. After the water is finished boiling, he lets it sit for about a minute and a half. Takes the water, pours it over the tea in this pot, and sticks the top back on it, and just lets it sit for a little bit. I know Vale was still out there. I don't know if Echo and Melly were doing anything.
I think after how clear is, I mean, it sounds like it's pretty clear that Vale is pretty rough shape today, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Then I think what Echo would do is he would look at Melly for a second and maybe be like, I don't know what the right word would be. Reluctant, I guess. And then kind of like as though he let something go, kind of do a half-hearted smile and like nod his head over to toward Vale. I'm just gonna go see how he is. Do you want to join?
I think that it might be a conversation best done one-on-one.
All right.
I'm gonna go back to that.
I'll see you in there. He'll smile and nod, and then make his way over to Vale. He'll do the same thing that Vale did to Owen, just sort of sit. Although I think I'm not gonna say more intrusively, but like pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll sit down, legs folded.
Vale turns and sees you. He kind of has a sad smile as he.
Yeah, Echo returns it. But I don't think he says anything right away. He'll just sit down next to him and look out at the water, and if any of the pretty sunrise colors are still kind of swirling about, just sort of take it in for a minute.
Yeah.
It seems like you've had your share of losses, my friend.
It's true. I know I've talked about my brother being a glass blade. Actually, that's how I learned to fight. I was trained. Did pretty well too, actually.
So you were a glass blade?
I guess technically for a moment. No, as soon as I finished my training, he shakes his head. When I finished my training, our class had like a final test that we had to do, and we went to the abandoned city of Euralis to just secure the area. I think it was mostly supposed to be just an exercise, really, to see if we understand how to accomplish a task like that together as a team. When we got there, I was sent with 3 others to scout around the area while the remaining people would secure the town itself. While we were on that scouting mission, I saw it looked like five orcs or so, probably from Baruftkra, but I mentioned something, and I think my squad mates thought that I might have been joking. Before we knew it, they ambushed us, and well, that didn't go very well.
Gods.
He smiles and he just looks at you and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not done." In that group, I was the only person to survive, but my injuries were quite severe. I could not walk very well, so I had to try and get my way back to warn the others. It took longer than I wished. When the town was in view, I saw it was under attack by orcs, and I was able to hide and find my way to what looked like it might have been a watchtower or a god tower, and I was able to climb my way up to the top, and I just started firing at every single orc I could find. Caught a lot of them, actually. Eventually they figured out that I was up there, and they lit the thing on fire and it collapsed. I don't know how I survived, actually. I was woozy, my vision was blurry, And as the consciousness seemed to just sort of slip away, I actually could swear I saw some kind of a silvery light that seemed to cover this being. This being was covered in scars. Had a bandage over their eyes. It seemed to be fighting off the orcs. I think maybe protecting me, I don't know. Maybe they might have even had wings. I'm not sure. The memory feels both vivid and foggy. It's hard to fully place. But the next thing I remember was a priest of Coralon standing over my body telling me I would be alright. And I seemed to be whole. My injuries weren't quite what they had seemed. I thanked him for healing me, and he said he didn't. He didn't understand. After that experience, they wanted to give me a medal. I don't know, I didn't want to do it. I decided to leave, and I feel like my father actually blames me for something there. I think he wanted me to follow in my brother's footsteps. But, well, you know me, I like to think for myself. I just starts laughing too.
Oh, God's veil.
So, I think whether it's charging onto a bridge of Imperial soldiers to help a friend, or making a deal with somebody I probably shouldn't. I don't know exactly how to not.
Well, thank you for telling me this, Vale. I really am deeply sorry. And I assume this is why the 35 candles.
Yes.
I see. Well, you can always start by have some faith in us. As we've said before, as much as you want to protect us, we're also here to protect you.
Echo, if there's one thing that I have learned from our experiences together, it is exactly that. I never in a million years would have ever guessed that I would trust someone with the information of a deal that I made. like that. I didn't really want to rely on anyone else.
Well, I'm going to go inside.
I'll join you.
He'll nod and get up and head inside.
Yeah. Vale will follow.
Yeah, by the time you get inside, there are 5 cups on the table, all filled with a green tea, and he'll just tell you, well, whenever you're ready, the tea's here, and you can enjoy. I hope you like it. And anyone, if and when you drink it, it is like, it's completely different than the tea that you drank yesterday. Like this one, it's like it's really smooth, but it's not like a fruity type flavor at all. It's actually it has like a savory, like umami, like rich, like almost like brothy taste to it. And it's just like it's soothing, but completely different than yesterday's.
I think Vale would just be quiet and enjoy it.
Same. I think the very serious kind of somber vibe is pretty prevalent, I would think. Neko has a respect for tradition, even though he may not be super familiar with this particular holiday.
He'll open up the teapot that he was pouring the tea from, and Mac is really the only one who saw the tea before it got heated up. But Mac, you would see that like the tea, which previously looked like these like crumbled up like balls, after the hot water had been on it, it kind of like opened up and like blossomed. And he will heat up some more water, pour it on top of that tea again, close it up, and let that steep for a while. And after that's ready, he'll pour himself a cup and a mug, and just say, "There's if anyone would like any more, it's welcome to help yourself." And let's just say, after I finish up the morning, I always like to paint a picture. So that's what I will be doing. But we all celebrate in our own way. So remember, in our own way. So whatever feels right for you, go for it, and you're welcome to be with me as I mourn and remember myself. And he'll kind of just like grab some stuff. He goes out on the porch and he just begins to paint. He starts off with a titanium white. No. Just beats the devil out of it. No.
Oh my gosh.
No, but he is just working on this painting for really not that much time at all. Probably half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. And anything that you've seen like any of the paintings that you've seen, or even the mugs that had like images on them, all were kind of like bright. But this one that he paints is like it's like a night. It's a snowy night, kind of dark picture. There's like a wooden hut off into the distance, and you see the Flotkit Mountains in the background, and a lake again, kind of similar to something that you've seen before from him. But it's a dark night sky. Everything's snowy, and the trees have a coat of snow on top of them, and there's just these lights that shine through the sky on it. It kind of, after he finishes, he just kind of looks at it for a moment and leaves it out, and he'll find Vale, and he'll just say well, I think I'm gonna get to finishing this bow for you.
Yes, okay.
And
Can I help?
well, I'm not sure I need any assistance or anything, but you're welcome to keep me company if you'd like.
I think I would.
I'll give you a smile, nod his head, and head down to the workshop. And anyone else is welcome to join him there too if they want. That's not like a conversation he tries to have privately in secret with Vale or anything. But no one's obligated to, but just you would feel welcome if you wanted to. And he'll go down there, and he'll take the bow out of the little hatch that he had, and unwrap the sort of bandage-like material that he had on it, and we'll inspect it a little bit, and you see that the rawhide has kind of dried and fused onto this piece of wood. And he'll take it and look at it, and he seems pleased with it, and he begins to start sanding everything down. And he just continues to sand it all until it's almost completely gone from the one side of the bow, the side that would face like towards you. The side facing out, he sands it a little bit, but it's still there. It's still on it. He goes and files down the arrow notches, just cleans them up a little bit better than how they were before, and he then takes a string that was on the counter, and he attaches a string to both sides, and that piece of wood that you saw on the wall the first day that you checked out his little shop with the notches carved into it, he puts the bow right on top there and pulls down on the bowstring and clicks it in one of the notches, and it's pretty early up, like it's very it doesn't want to bend. It's very stiff, and he takes a little tool and starts to go across the sides of the bow with it, and you see that in certain spots it leaves just like a pencil mark on there that he goes over. He takes it off, he removes the string, and then he begins to start sanding down those sections that had that had writing on them when he went through it. And he just continues to do this for the better part of like an hour or two, just really, trying to get it to the exact spot that he wants it to be, and just repeating that same process of he puts it on this this piece of wood, he stretches the bowstring, clicks it in a slot and just checks the sides, sands it down, and he just does this over and over again until he feels like he has come to the point where he's happy with it. And you'll see he takes it, looks it all over, takes the string that he had on it and just kind of pulls it back and just flexes it a little bit just to see where it is. He'll look it over once more and just give it a little nod, and he'll just say, well, I'll just, I need to clean it up a little bit more, but it's just about there.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And it is starting to get a little like later in the afternoon and towards the evening at this point, you know. And he's just gonna tell you, he's like, all right, well, I don't know how you handle it, but I normally light my candles after dark, but I'm gonna prepare them now. And he just kind of goes off and starts gathering supplies and doing his thing. And
does he hand me the bow, or how does?
He doesn't hand you the bow. He
Okay.
puts the bow back down, takes the string off of it, sets it on the
Okay.
table.
I didn't know if it was like a thing, like is he expecting me to take this?
No.
It doesn't sound like it. Vale just nods and he'll follow because he wants to get some candles too.
Okay. You said 35, right?
He just nods.
All right. And he'll kind of, he's just going through boxes and grab things, and he'll find Izzee he'll find Melly and Mac and Echo and say, did any of you wish to light a candle tonight?
Please,
Or more
just
than
one.
Just one also.
I'll light one as well.
All right. And he kind of just he just gathers all these things and he has, I forget what it's called, but he has like a candle for each of you on like the little saucer, like holds it, you know the one that Mac has, you know. And he gets one ready and prepared for each of you, and he prepares just kind of like, the sun has not set yet. He gets all the candles ready, and he makes just kind of like a light dinner for everyone, and he'll kind of he's just quiet, the whole time. And after the dinner is finished, he will kind of walk out and just say, right, well, before it gets too dark, I'd like to head on back to the dock and watch the sunset, and we'll light off our candles. And I'll kind of just walk out, and he just kind of sits out on the dock and just watches and kind of sits in silence as the sun begins to set on the other horizon. And again, you see that the bright reds and pinks and oranges, and it's a beautiful sunset. And he'll just kind of just be still and watch that.
I think Vale would actually be near the edge of the lake, but not on the dock this time. I think he would just... Like, is there still snow? Like a good amount of snow. I think he would just set the candles in the snow so that he could have them all standing. I don't know if he's had 35 candle holders.
He gave you a box of 35 of them.
I don't know if you'd have that many candle holders, but it's fine.
He doesn't have that many of like the metal candle holders, but like
so he's just setting them up.
Yeah, Echo would join out on the dock. Owen.
Give me 1 second. So as the sun sets and it begins to get fairly dark, I mean, it's still moonlit. He lights a small fire, and he'll if anyone needs help lighting their candles, he'll help them. And he actually pulls out a small, like, almost like a raft type thing, and it is just filled with candles, like all over it. I mean, there's probably like 150 to 200 on this thing, and he'll just kind of he'll light each candle and just kind of push it out, and you see there's like an opening in the middle. There's something sitting in the middle where there are no candles. Just kind of push it out onto the water, and if you listen closely, he'll just say to himself, "They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them." And he actually, you see him take out a bow, an arrow, and he lights something on the edge of the arrow and just kind of, and it hits the middle of the center that wasn't lit up of this raft, and it just lights up, and the whole thing just kind of burns, and it's just this big bright fire just kind of drifting off into the lake. And as it burns and kind of fades away into the and then it becomes dark again, they'll just kind of give you all a nod and say, well, this day always seems to take a lot out of me. I think we're gonna get some rest.
Right, Owen. Thank you for everything.
Of course. I'll head out. And does anybody have anything that they want to do, or you all just kind of sit for a little bit and sleep? Or
Yeah, I think I would just kind of like maybe wait an extra minute or two and then head up myself.
Echo's got his candle out near the edge of the dock. Are these like small candles? Like,
they're fairly small candles, yeah.
Yeah, I think I know the kind of ones you're talking about. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's got the thing in his hand, and then he goes to the edge of the dock and sets it down on the end, and then just sits down in front of it. And just says, "Goodbye, Bill." And then stand up. I guess he'd probably just leave it burning, and then walk off back toward the house.
I think while that's going on, nobody's ever known Vale to pray, but it does seem like he may be saying a quick prayer. Something to the effect of, as one light descends, the Moonweaver's light will guide you. And then he says each person's name, and as each person's name is said, he does a prestidigitation to light a candle. Just one after the other, until they're all lit. It may have taken a little longer than everybody else's, so I don't know what he sees when he's done.
Is Melly still hanging out, or did she go off to sleep?
She would have gone off to sleep.
Okay.
Then he would make sure there's no fire hazards after that, and then go back inside.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Everybody sleeps fine. Next morning, you wake up to the smell of bacon again, and this time, instead of pancakes or waffles, there's some very nice menagerie toast.
All I ever wanted.
And Owen will just say to all of you, I very much appreciate all of you paying your respects with me last night, and I've enjoyed your company over these past couple of days. I know you said you were gonna head out to Base Steel. Now I have a watercraft right up at the river waiting for you. And Vale, this is for you. And he hands you this bow with this beautiful, finely crafted, like you could tell that he spent some time, and then like he said he was going to sleep, but he went out in the night again, and he just really just sanded everything down, smoothed it out, put some sort of finish on it, which again, usually when you put any sort of, like, whether it's like a polyurethane or something like that, or like a stain, like usually it takes days at least before it's like really in there and really fine, and like you could actually use it. but this seems to have just overnight, it's perfect. And it just the color that it has is just this it's like this dark brown, like coffee color to it, with just these really nice like engravings all up in the sides of it, and then like a couple slots cut out in it as well. I'll just hand that to you. Just say, may you use it only when you need to. I'll wink to you and hand it to you.
I hope I never have to. he
I hope so too.
takes it and he just takes a moment to just look at it and just take it in and just kind of touches some of the detail work that he could. This is stunning.
Yeah, it's the nicest bow you've ever seen, and it feels like it's made specifically for you, because it is. Like if you pull back on the string, it feels a little heavier than the bow that you did have, but it's perfect. Like it stops exactly where you feel like it should stop, and it's just.
This is I could get used to this. Oh, and this is incredible. And just meets his eyes. Just thank you. I know that this is a huge gesture, and it's not one that I take lightly.
Thank you. And he'll just say, I know you needed to be on your way, so I packed you some supplies, and whenever you're finished with breakfast, you're welcome to head out. If you ever want to come back here, you're welcome.
This guy. I think he's my Rain for you guys. Just saying. Just saying. I don't know how to thank you, Owen.
You don't need to thank me. Just do your best to do some good out there. I told you beforehand, but I'll tell you again. Seeing you all brings me great joy. The four of you are light in some dark times. Stay true to yourselves and be there for each other. I know you're going to do great things. And he makes eye contact with each of you as he says that.
If there's anything you can think of that we can do to help, please let us know.
Will do.
I'll just looks at the rest of the group.
Yeah. Echo just sort of smiles determinedly, nods to Owen and gives him another bow. And then, yeah, same. Meets the gaze of the rest of the group.
Anyone have any parting words for him?
Mac just gives him a little nod when their eyes meet.
Melly will say thank you to him and just I don't know, repeat a lot of the stuff she already said about coming back and the tranquility of the place.
Yeah, and I think Echo will just say to him as well, You do have a beautiful home here, and I hope it continues to bring you the peace that you're looking for. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for everything. You're a kind soul. And actually, I have something for you as well. And he'll kind of walk over, step down the stairs for a second, grab this, well, he'll come back up with this large, like, staff in his hand. And it has a similar look to Vale's bow. It has that same kind of like coffee color to it, with these engravings like all throughout it and this beautiful work. And it also has like some kind of like notches cut out in it as well. And you just kind of, well, he walks up to you and just puts it out there for you to grab. And he'll just say to you, well, I know you lost your walking stick in the fires. So whether it's walking or protecting yourself or protecting your friends, I hope this serves you well.
His eyes well up real good. How does he look? How does Owen look?
He looks tired, more so than the day before. He's making these two pieces and doing it in the time that he did it in took a lot out of him.
He'll look up at him, like I said, eyes welled up, and then he'll kind of like a little bit of like an angry confusion for a second. And then that expression changes just to sort of solemn understanding. He'll grab the he'll put one hand on it.
Oh.
I'll make you proud to have made this.
I know that you will. And he kind of like, he was holding it with two hands. He keeps one hand on it, takes his other hand and kind of like puts it on yours and just gives you like a little like, and then he'll let go of it and say good luck to you.
And to you. This guy.
Seriously.
Okay, so real quick, just as an ending off note, what's everybody's passive perceptions as you head towards this river to go to Bicey's Teal?
I have a 14.
I have a 16.
11.
13.
So as you're walking through the woods, just kind of all focused on just everything that's happened and the kindness that you were just shown and all of that, you hear like a twig snap behind you. And as you look, you see an elf male who is just a little bit taller than Vale. Looks very, very similar to him. And he just kind of looks at you with a sly grin and just says, "Hello there." And we'll pick up there next week.
Oh!
Sorry for going so late, guys. a lot of stuff I wanted to get done. I really wanted to end on that note.
Sorted said it best.
Guys, this is Ancient Relics and Hokey Religions. We are part of Rare Drop Roleplay. We are J&J Tabletop. You've heard me say it before, but we like to make videos about D&D and all the things. And if you want to check out what we're doing, just do command J&J and that'll give you all our stuff. But also it's twitch.tv/J&J Tabletop, youtube.com/J&J Tabletop. For all Evan has going on, check out @itsevbo on all of the social media forums and Twitch and YouTube and all that stuff. For Michael, it's MSTR Yoda _I_am. You keep up with him and see all the fun stuff he has going on and the funny tweets and whatnot. And for myself, the real Josh T for Jake, J and Jake _. Anybody have anything that they want to say quick before we go? All right, guys, we love you all. Thank you for hanging out with us. Let's talk in Discord. If there's any fun moments that you wanna let us know about, or things that you liked, please clip it. We have a section in our Discord for clips, and let's just talk about this game, talk about your game, all the things. So hope to hear from you soon. Everybody have an excellent week. Happy gaming to you. Be safe and be kind. See you next time.